Morning. Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
What do you want to do?
I didn't realise that people were
Good morning. 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 It's a lovely place. Oh, very good.
Good morning everyone, and I apologize for the delay. We had a slight hiccup with the sound system, which is now working, and we are just going to have a treat from the Jordanian Armed Forces musical band.
mind. Good, but if somebody asks me, don't have anything, that's how I like to do this. I like it, I like it, I like it, she's a laughing. Huh? No, it'll be hotter. Yeah, if I like it. He doesn't like me. Yes, please.
and then we will start the actual horses at the start. We show them here as well, a bit selfishly, because they're actually bred by the stud here, and they descend from, they're a part of the WAHO family, so they're coming in now because they're actually ridden and they do endurance, and they've competed very successfully by two different parents and size, obviously, both out of Hassanat and Hanifa, who's number 9 on the WAHO family group, and ridden by one ridden by Jihad Shato, who was our host last night in Circassian dog, and the other from the stables also of my brother Ali.
I'll say if you want.
And he's wearing the costume which he wore with my brother Ali when they went to the Caucasus in 1998 on horseback from Jordan going through Syria and Turkey. It was quite a moving ride, I think, and to visit there at the homeland of the Circassians. And behind him is Habib and Hassanat, and both of them have competed successfully in endurance. We thank them for their hospitality last night, and we thank the horses for being here, and it's coming back to where they were born.
He will take very It was disgusting. It was disgusting.
Ist der von gestern Abend? Ist das der von gestern Abend? Der lange? Ja.
The donkey that you can hear in the background is one of the number of rescues, probably belonging to my sister Iman, who rescued a few donkeys, but they do appear quite regularly. The descendants of Jamila, who was a Khina Rouge man, who came from Hijaz with my great-grandfather, first. First in his, his channel, called Hafidina. He's by Ayed, who's after Adonito, and his mother's Dunya. Good, strong horse. He's actually had some nice tones. We wanted you to see that also focus on riding, not just on show. Behind him is Durrat al-Hammad, who's by Morocco's TV, out of the same down as Hakiki, who's in front of her. Behind her is Dureira, by Hilay Ramadan, out of the Durrat al-Hammad, out of her, who's in front of her. And then Durrat al-Hammad, also by Morocco's, out of Dunya, who's the mother of the first two. And then Turkish Durar by a youngster called Sadiq, out of Durar al-Hammad, who's the third man. As you can see, they're not all in show condition, but we wanted you to see what we have in family groups. So.
I would add, this is, for me, in many ways, my favorite foundation line, the Krush line. And yesterday, the picture you saw earlier, mayors of this strait. It's an interesting family because all but two of the whole family, which numbers many, all but two are all grey. So it's a family, and they're all wonderful, strong.
And the Grand Dame, actually, Rosanna was the one that Peter mentioned yesterday in the story, that had actually was recovered from pulling a plough on the way to the Jordan Valley. So, getting back that strain, and the canine Krush are reasonably rare in the world, not as many as the others. It's very precious, so we're very lucky that we found her and that her descendants rejoined us. I need to have the phone to Marek because he... I need to pass the fatwa.
Well, we are looking at beautiful horses, and the one which Mark Gamelin has already showing us is the Durar al-Kumar, which already won the class on the international event. of the Middle East Championships. Beautiful, very correct, very good body, and great movement, which Mark may show us.
Thank you, Mark. You can carry on. I'm hopeless at I don't know. I'm not, the horses, I think they're terribly personal to me, and so I'm not very good at talking about them. It becomes sort of like family, and I don't really know what to say. So I will ask Mark to talk a little bit more, and Peter, and then Fiona when the time comes.
More doesn't mean back. I will not be saying anything wrong, because it's not possible. Not possible. Hafidina is a beautiful horse, I would say more riding type, but also a sire of the most beautiful stallion, which is in the stud, which will be shown later. So it's really almost all of them are extremely valuable horses and representing one of the foundation strains of the Arabian State.
Jetzt kommt das Wetter.
Yes, so it's just very nice to see this strain which has been there from the beginning of the stud. And it is, as I think I said yesterday, really the two major ideas behind the whole stud are the continuation of these very important foundation lines, many of which came north with King Abdullah through desert horses. And these, the older of these will also be only 2 or 3 generations from the war. So it is a very important family. But the other thing is, of course, at the same time, as with any stud, state stud, where there is continuation, there is this matter of improving the stock as well. And I think you can see that in these horses very clearly.
Another interesting thing about these horses is that Hafidina, the chestnut stallion which was opening the show, is the grandfather of the little colt, Dirar, which is by Sadiq, which is by Hafidina. So we have like grandfather and the grandson on the same time. And who would like to have a closer look on this horse, look at his eyes. It's the most beautiful eyes I can see.
We're actually fortunate, I think. Good eyes are one of the traits that do go through our horses on the whole. This mare's a good example of it. One of the other things we're quite proud of is that most of them move very well. And you'll see yourself on the board.
What a perfect example of an Arab really covering the ground and totally silent, floating above the ground. It's amazing. Also, you see this very strong family like this in her and the bear before her. It's wonderful.
I have to thank Mark also for his really hard work over the last few days and the last couple of years. And the horses are enjoying being shown by him and also by our staff. But we do really try and focus on having them as relaxed as possible. And I really believe that when they're upright and being shown in a way that's not, I don't want to get back to my own soapbox, but when they're not happy and relaxed, they really can't trot and express themselves in the way that they can when it's just joy of living. So I think that's really precious. Horses don't need to be jazzed up before, they could be perfectly relaxed as you see and half asleep, and then wake up when they want us to move because they enjoy it. And I think that's most important.
Okay, thank you very much. The group of Fukuhila Cruise, which is beginning in Hijaz and came with King Abdullah I as the foundation group. Mayor Arabian Jamila is the foundation of the stud. There was not only Jamila, there was also Mashallah. The first from the strain Kuhaila Jews. Those two mares came from the King Abdullah I from Hijaz, and there will be 4 mares. But if we look at these horses, sorry for some. I mean, I have to say that these are breeding horses. They are not prepared. They were not conditioned. They are just like this, taken from the stable, and we want to show you everything which is in the stables, and I hope you like it.
Yes, as Marek said, they're not at all in show condition, and they're just. But we want you to see all our lines, so that's why they're coming. They all have their own qualities, and we've tried in breeding and keeping the strains going, not to. Obviously, we try and do endurance with them. Showing sometimes, but the main thing is to try and keep their traits also and not let them completely change. Sometimes it's a bit of a balancing act, but they are quite strong and prepotent, so I think that the lightness does carry through.
And you will probably see that Mashallah was the daughter of Freya, and Freya was one of the mares I mentioned yesterday in the Arab Revolt, who was mentioned by the man you saw standing by me, Sheikh Tuaiba, the standard bearer, a very famous mare who he talked about a great deal. many, many years after, from the 1950s to the 1990s. And in this family, there is also the horse Bahadur, the horse, the grey horse who was rearing right up in the pictures, and also Bahrain, the chestnut being ridden in the picture. So it is a very, very, I would say it's probably the biggest family of the foundations, but I was handed to preserve.
It was at one point, but then sadly we don't have so many of the females there. In fact, one of them, a very beautiful mare called Farida, actually was with Fiona Murray for a while in England. So you can talk about that.
Farida arrived in England aged approximately 17 and had not bred for many years. She graced our fields, great beauty. She had the most exquisite head, eye, and tiny ears, and was a delightful, gentle mare. But as much as we tried to improve her fertility, we failed. So she was shown as a veteran mare at Royal our national show in England, and I think she came back fourth, is that right? But she was a really unique, beautiful, beautiful mare, and we were very privileged to share that beauty in our fields for a couple of years.
Yes, she did have one called Farid before she had problems with breeding, and you'll see some of his descendants possibly later. But this is Juri and Hamad, and she's by Eid Jafar, who was actually a son of Abu Khan, and belonged to Jafar's stud, and then they gave him to us. And he produced some really, really wonderful horses, very kind, very good temperament, very good in endurance. And south of Zanbakan. Very, very good natured lines. This family as a whole are quite, the previous one always, well, they were looking quite feisty in the ring, but normally they're very quiet and very calm. This family, the bloodline, they were always rather Rinard, who was bred at Lodge Farm and then was imported by Said Khair Stud. He was by Malik Al Khair out of Indian Spring, yes. Yes. It's interesting because most of the family were, well, the grandmother was grey, but then most of the folks, Bahrain, Farida, and all those were chestnut for a very long time. And now again we have lots of them being born grey. Her mother was, Shaka was grey, and her mother was grey. Sorry, chestnut I mean. I remember there was a grandmother of theirs who was shown in our first Arab Horse at Home competitive show, and I remember Mary Naragos who was judging, and she really liked her, and I think the mare placed very well. But she mentioned afterwards how much she liked she don't like that mare, and I commented that yes, but they tend to have rather peaky croups on the whole, that family. And she said, well, they look very like the Kenan Ajus that she was used to breeding in Iran, and they all had the same kind of trait. So I found that very interesting and rather heartwarming that, you know, the likeness didn't carry on and they could recognize certain traits in different families. This is Shabiba, also out of Bailay Ramadan out of Shaka, so full sister of the previous one, 1 year younger.
I think many of you will agree watching these last 2 minutes, the dignity about the way this happened. It's very dignified.
And then Joel, sorry, Billy, Shamaha. I apologize for the names. I know they're very confusing to to read, but we try and spell them as best we can to get the right pronunciation. Sham has Baronakos Didi and Shabib this magazine company. Yes. Maracas Didi was imported, well, I can't remember what year, but he came to Stud and has proved an amazing sire for so many of the horses. You will possibly see him as when you walk back up to the stables. He doesn't really like being in public, so you can see him as you go past, but we decided he declined the invitation to actually be shown in hand.
But Monarchos was also very lucky. He came to the Stud and met here a group of beautiful Khalil Ramadan daughters, and that made him famous. I'm sure about it.
Thank you. But in fairness, he's done very well with almost all the. And yesterday at the dinner the other night, there was a stallion called Asif, was also by him, very dark bay, belonging to one of the private breeders. He was actually much in demand, and he's always done well. Yeah. Mark's saying biggest advice he's ever seen, but then he didn't see Farida. You'll see quite a lot of dark bays, and we have the chestnuts originally and greys and bright chestnuts, but the dark bays are really actually many from Monarchos. You'll probably see quite a lot of them.
I think it's also interesting because the lovely curve, the shape of the gears, which seems to have disappeared from the image today. They are rather straight over. But if you watch it, you'll see gears like this lovely turn at the top. Yeah. Great movement.
What I found here in this part is the attitude of the horses, their temperament. This mare never did feeding, never been trained. She's probably for the first time in such a situation. And look how she's cooperating with Mark, like how easy it is to show her and how nice temperament she is. They're really, all these horses are friendly.
Thank you, Mark. That's the way it should be. This group is descendants of Mohammed II, who was presented by my great-grandfather from Adwan tribe, Arabian Magazine. And they're very athletic horses, they're not show horses, but very athletic, very strong. Who have competed in long distance and things like that. First one is Naba. It's by Fuad, who is the grandson of Farida, out of Lutfiya. Lutfiya was by Gamar Zaman. And then Hafid al-Fatifa, who's by Yaput. Yaput was by Abatan out of Aisha, who is a Manigir man. And then Hadir bin Safir, the chestnut. And she's by Safir, who is by Hamama, out of Hamama Badamat Muslimin, and out of Hafida. So, her mother's in front of her. First two half sisters, and then the daughter of the second. A few years ago, I was having a meeting with a member of, actually he was the mayor of Amman at the time, and he was saying that his father had a Arabian mare years and years ago, and always lamented that he had lost her, and that he always wished for another one. And I said, we have that strain of the stud, but very few of them. And I said, and they're not particularly what you would call maybe most stunning look at. But he said, no, I'd be very happy to have one just for the bloodline. So I sent him the mare, and he's called up to say his father was absolutely delighted, because what we found a little bit, possibly not so, very, very compact, very strong, slightly short neck. That was the mare, these two don't have it, but very peaky croup. And he said this is exactly what his old mare looked like. So this is the way that skin was supposed to look as far as he was concerned. And again, it was heartwarming, because the likeness was obviously carrying on through.
It's just interesting to note as well that Latifa's family goes back to this Abaya, and Abaya was one of the mares covered by El Fakri, who was later called Salman, the Egyptian stallion you saw a picture of yesterday. And this line worked very well. And her daughter was, I mentioned yesterday as well, I think, called Chocolata. And she was by one of the Spanish stallions, Usati, didn't cover many mares. So that line is quite strong, but it's not quite as strong as some of the other ones.
Yes, the Spanish stallion was Habal, who's renamed Samek here, and he eventually was with the mounted police, and he may have had more calls there, but sadly not at the start. And he used to jump as well. There's beautiful photos of him jumping, you know, with the between men standing on a pedestal, then on a table. Yes, so he was obviously, as Joanna Maxwell says, Spanish Arabs jump, and he did.
This strain is known known from his strength and performance abilities. So that's why the mare which is in front of us was bred to Sakar. Sakar is the very strong, athletic stallion, and the hope was to receive something which will be the perfect riding horse. And this is the filly the chestnut filly by Sakar out of Kafida Latifa. His name is Khalil bin Sakar.
Mike complains about the Arabic names and the pronunciation, but he's doing a very good job. And I'm not sure the Polish names are easier to pronounce either, and certainly not to spell. The beads in the mane and tail are just for good luck and good energy. That's someone was asking why we have them. They're planted in blue beads, turquoise and turquoise colour. So that's, if you notice beads in their tails and manes, that's why they're there. She's by Shafab, who was a very kind gift from Qatar. And out of the man called Abir. Abir was out of Aisha by Akbar. Akbar was son of Indian king, and he was imported to help out establish this peace of mention in 1989, 79. He was a very beautiful horse, and his foals were very athletic and fabulous movers. Behind her is Afifa, who's also by Shamak al-Shatab, out of Anbar. Anbar was also by Akbar, out of Aisha. Yes. And then Afat bin Hamad, she's by the Rakos, Didi, out of Afifa, who's her mother in front of her. And then her daughter, who's by Sadi, who's the same father, the horse who saw in the previous book, the one before that. Very good-natured family also. Aisha had a son called Asbah that my father used to enjoy riding very much. And I think I had a photo of Peter after riding him as well. Very, very good-natured, lovely riding horse. And they were named Chestnut. There was only one grey, Aziza. And Aziza is actually, she's the mare that's standing next to me. And if you have the brochure for the WAHO conference, she's the one that was standing next to me, the grey that was loose. So she would be an aunt of all these horses, and she was the only grey in that family. And I remember a rather odd story once. We had a mare descended from Ajiba, who many of you may remember from Alaliha. Anyway, Ajiba was Hayya's mare, and she came here and had a very beautiful daughter called Arabian. And we took her to the Royal Nationals one year, and she had a filly with her, and we found her in the box, sadly dead. We never knew what happened at the show. It was at the Sports City. So we brought the filly back, and we were trying to have her adopted. And I thought, well, Aziza, which was the grey mare, has always been terribly kind, so she will probably be adopted, so we'll bring her. Aziza was quite old by then, so I came in and saw Aziza standing with her back to this filly and her ears back, looking really annoyed. And not angry, but just annoyed. And this poor filly was very shy. Said, well, maybe she's not going to adopt this filly. She's probably got a bit too old and has had enough of it. But I was quite upset with her because I expected better. So I took her by the head collar and led her to the door of the box. And it was night time. And I just sort of looked at her and said, Madam Aziza, I expected better from you. And she gave me a really offended look. I was sort of, I expected better from you too. And at that I just sort of let it go and she just wandered off. And I thought, what am I doing? Anyway, another mare came was called Malakia, who was also by the town, imported from France. And she adopted the dog immediately. So it was a happy ending to the story, but Aziza expressed that she was not going to adopt any more dogs after that.
As was said earlier, this is a family who are on the whole great movers. And in fact, Amber, who was mentioned earlier, just left there. Whenever important guests came to the stud, including the late Queen of England, Ursula Lopez always used to bring out Amber, who would give a supreme example of moving around the arena by herself. So it was always fun. Bring out Amber. And she was also a much travelled mare, and she ended for a while in England, via France, and then came back in her old age to very nice. And further down in this family, you'll see that grey stallion called Tammy, who was by the famous Maris. But a certain gentleman I wrote lately, many years ago, said, all managers were ugly. Well, look at the bag. I will say no more.
A little bit of information more about the stables here. The horses moved here, as Peter mentioned yesterday, in 1967, and the stables, the various yards were built thereafter. As you can see opposite, some effects of the fire that my cousin mentioned at the opening. Thank God it sort of skipped the bottom, the stables and the bottom layer of trees. We were very fortunate and very grateful for all the people who came and helped put it out very fast. You can see it on the hill behind us also, but it just literally missed the horses and missed the buildings and the human beings in between, so quite nice. So it was pretty much a miracle. We're very grateful. That was in June, mid-June. So, had you told, before that you would have seen beautiful olive trees all over the place, but they will grow back in summer. I know that can help regenerate very quickly. And we're just so fortunate that humans and animals were safe. Sadly, probably some wildlife around here was not. Around the hills here, there's quite a lot of foxes. Occasionally, we think we see hyenas, jackals, wolves. The jackals and foxes and wolves are smaller than the ones abroad, but there's a lot of that wildlife here, tortoises and lots of different kinds of birds.
Do you see what I mean about the great movement of this family, this Manipi family? They are all remarkable. I remember once bringing a friend to see the horses, and Aisha, one of the earlier mares, the chestnut mare, she came out, and he actually said to me, "So is that a good classic Arab?" And I said, Well, no, she's not the most beautiful mare in the world, but don't make your decision until you've seen her move. And she used to almost surge out of the ground. Remarkable. And he said, you're right, she's an Arab.
In fact, at the first Arabian Horse and Home show that was not competitive, that we held here, and it was just a get-together really for the Arab countries to get to know each other, to get used to the idea of showing each other's horses between us. And we thought, let's make it not a competition, just an exhibition. And that was really like, it was inspired really. My mother had the idea from the Arab Summit conference, which had been particularly positive at the end of the 80s. And so we thought, let's invite everyone to talk about politics and things, but horses. And it was wonderful. So many countries responded. And I think there were 9 countries actually participated with horses, and the ones that didn't still sent delegates. And the day before, we thought we'd have an open day, show the horses from the individual countries who participated, and then the day after from the various Jordanian staff. And everyone had come for the dress rehearsal. It was really very nice and nice. Again, we thought, well, how long do you leave the horses in the ring for? So we'll just bring one out to try. We didn't want to bring one out who's going to be in the show. So again, it was one of the Aisha family. And she came in, and again, everyone was looking sort of, oh. And we let her loose, and immediately, this is what Peter says, like surging off the crest of the wave. And tail came up, and everyone said, ah. Right, Sen were the first, and then Yasamri. Actually, this was a line that we very nearly lost. There was a mare called Amaza, and then she had a son, and then she was exported to Dr. Peter Houghtemple in England, and then from there she had a foal there, and foal went filly, and she went on to America. And we had one more daughter, and then she didn't produce, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is really. And then Peter said he would be happy to give her back, to give the daughter back, the daughter of the man that he brought. And that was how they were reintroduced. He also had a man from the Imam stray, and he sent that daughter back too. And I remember when you think of family likenesses, going to meet them at the airport, I'd never seen either of them before, but they were both in a pallet getting off the plane. And as the pallet descended, I looked and I thought, okay, that's Imam and that's the Hungarian, just from the way they were just looking at each other and behaving, you could immediately tell which was which, from temperament, without seeing more than the faces. Very, very strong family traits both of them had, and we were very lucky to have them both come back and contribute to the program here, because in our books also we didn't have so many of them. We had a beautiful man called Sarah, who you'll hear about later, but she didn't produce any daughters, so Dr. Houghtemple really did very kindly by us by sending those two back, and we were very grateful. The first one is Aida, out of Ankara, who's the man that came back, by Jude. Jude was by Farid, and Farid was the son of Farida, that Fiona was just talking about. Out of a daughter of Akbar, very English one, so quite mixed bloodlines there. And then her sister Anwar. Oh no, sorry, we didn't bring Anwar. Anwar is tired because she was given to a cousin for a while and used the polo, and she doesn't really like to participate in shows and things. Asya is the one after her. She's by Makram and Shak. Pastor Jadan very kindly brought to our show one year and allowed us to use to cover, and I think you'll see that he did a wonderful job. The mare is, I think, very special. She's Anwar, so a niece of the first mare. Then there's Aminat Asya. Marik's laughing because all these names are quite confusing. So Aminat Asya is the daughter of Asya, and she's mother Ahmed, Didi, and then Aminat Asya. In Arabic they're completely different names. I know they sound similar names. Aminat Asya, Aminat Asya. The last one is by Sadiq.
And the daughter of Almaza, who was a very small mare, but a very beautiful mare, who came back here, was called Magda of Jordan. And there were two, and she was one of a big mare, and she was by a Spanish stallion called Macor, that Peter Houseful had. But I do remember at the end of the first Arab Horse of Home, as an end to the show, we got every grey mare in the stud, and they all came loose in the sunset into this arena. It was a magnificent stud, except Macor, Jordan, Macca, Jordan. She came in and immediately lay down and rocked in the middle of all the other mares.
It's while they're all galloping around her. This man's obviously at 23. Here's Asya. I just must repeat again how grateful we are to Bassett for lending us this stand and allowing us to read them. We're very keen to bring back, old bloodlines when we can, and not just going one direction. Yeah, she's got lovely big eyes and fabulous temperament, very sweet. And I think you can see from the pose that she's also a very good broker.
It's very interesting if you look at Asia, which is a typical featherbed mare. She looks like typical Bedouin mare, and it's amazing how close to the modern look of Amina Tasia, which is by Monarchos in one generation, and from featherbed horse we have almost the show horse, but still. What is most important, the positive features are still present, and we can see a very good body, very good legs, and a lot of attitude, and the show attitude also. It's really a good example of how easy it is to change the type of the horse in just one generation.
And I think what the danger is that so many people think that they're quick to change in a particular direction, but they don't realize that when you lose things like limbs, good limbs and movement and things like that, and temperament, those are really hard to get back. I mean, the prettiness can come very quickly, but the other qualities not so much. And I think we all need to really bear that in mind.
Now just look at this filly's head. It's so wedge-shaped and that lovely straight underjaw. And does it remind one of the old Arab saying about a small enough muzzle to drink from a coffee pot? Just beautiful. Just look at that. Just look at that. It's a baby. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Tribe. Again, they're not particularly show horses, you know, but we want to show you everything. Then after that will be the Nasab, which are very beautiful family, very rare strain of my group, Rara, and very strong characters, and anyway, and then after that we'll show you the descendants of a man called Buleguna, who came from Shah Arabia's daughter of Abakan. And to show you how her descendants produced with our stallions, and then we'll show you the name of them, and then hopefully you'll be able to relax and have some love. And in the meantime, we'll go up. The stables were actually designed by Mrs. Santiago Lopez, and Santi had been in the Royal Engineers when he was serving in the British Army. He was an amazing character. I don't know if any of you remember him, but he, you know, sometimes he considered himself an Arab, quite often he considered himself Spanish, or British, indeed, because he'd been born in Gibraltar. So, you know, it depended on what he wanted to be at the moment. But he was really amazing, and I have to really here say that we owe the Santiago Lopez and Ursula the most amazing, the most enormous gratitude, because they really understood the country, they understood the horses, and her heart was really in it. And I know Santi originally didn't get on terribly well with WAHO. They were among the founding members, but he fell foul of Jay, I think, at one of the first meetings in Malmo maybe. And apparently, and he came back and he was very offended because Jay had, I think, banged the gavel and told him to sit down. And he told my father the story, who of course was highly amused. So whenever he'd be with visitors and Santi would be there, I'd say, who is that man who told you to sit down? Santi would get very hot under the collar. But really, he was a fabulous horseman, and Ursula also had a wonderful eye for the horses, and she was a wonderful rider too. And he also sang beautifully, and in fact, my father, this was a band gig with the BBC, and had a Latin American band, and he used to sing, and my mother always said, you're so lucky, because you know, you get to hear Santi singing every now and then. Anyway, that's an anecdote. Here we have Nafisa, by Shamak al-Shakab, out of Nabila. Nabila was a big, rangy mare with a lot of white all over her, and very good breeder, very strong, very athletic. Behind is Nafisa Kamar, by Jafar, the Abakan son, out of his mother, American continent. Then Thamina, the chestnut, she's by Al-Ma'zoon, who's out of Safam, who's out of the Marsala that you'll hear about later, and also and her mother's Nafisa. And then there's Sabha, by Layl Ramadan, out of Safa. Safa was a chestnut, mare of the same strain, by Jarash, who was by Malik al-Khail out of Haiba, a Spanish mare, and belonged to my sister Zayn, bred at Lodge Farm, obviously. Then there's Safia, by Hilal Ramadan, also out of Safa, Senegal sister. Then Safinaz, chestnut, by Yakut, the Abakan son, out of Safia. And then Said Sabil, by Monarchos Didi. She's wearing a traditional saddle from Aleppo. We like to have the old ladies in the older ladies in the traditional Aleppo costume. Again, a family of amazing movers. Her mother was again quite a plain man, but very big, like I said, and strong, and the most amazing mover.
Princess Alia mentions the traditional saddle and bridle, and I can remember talking to an old Bedouin about it once, and I said, no stirrup irons, and I said, in one rein. He said, it's okay, the desert's a big place. But it's just nice to see the traditional equipment being used. There is a museum, a small museum in the stables, containing many of the saddles and traditional furniture of this kind of horse.
Yes, you'll be able to see it when you walk up past the main yard, and if you'd like to see some of the old saddles that were presented to my great-grandfather and traditional ones. Some came with Spanish horses that came also as gifts to us. Our horses normally we used to, they were all ridden. Recently we've been doing less of that sadly because we've had less staff and you know, problems. The whole world I'm sure has had problems and issues like that. But we haven't, some that are ready for endurance, but again recently the last 2 years we haven't been doing very much of that either. But it's very important for us that they know how to do it and know how to be handled, and they're all very kind. family and my horses.
It's enough to say, see the bones of this horse and the way he's working. And I will trust horse like this in my riding horse, I am sure about this. It's a very strong horse.
When Stud still participated in racing, which was many years ago, in the 70s, 60s, this particular family was did very well. We finally stopped participating in the racing because it just became too much of a sensitive subject. You know, there was the horses that were being crossed for obviously for racing, and my father was not keen that happened. And at some stages we could compete with the others, but then it got so that it wasn't practical, and it also created so much bad feeling that it's pure, it's not pure. So while really I have to say actually it was an immense saviour for us at that time, because we could establish, you know, the horses, preserve them still when we were still able to, you know, identify who was who and what was what. And with the blood typing and the other means of ensuring the pedigrees, it was a great way to actually make sure that your horses actually had a future and they didn't get mixed in with everything else and confused and lost. After that, in the mid-80s, St. Clair decided to import a couple of horses from England and start the first supervised stud. And after that, he was the only supervised stud for many years. Then there was the Kabarda stud. And then the last few years, as you saw at the open house at the Federation dinner the other evening, suddenly enormous numbers of breeders, and mainly interested in showing, but also in endurance, and with very high quality horses. So it's nice, it's opening up a bit to more people being interested. It's always nice to exchange and to meet kindred spirits, and it's quite so nice to have you all here.
for all the breeders, it's really very interesting to see this line. And from the mother to daughter to granddaughter, all we have the same group. That shows how difficult it is to improve something. They have a beautiful head, beautiful neck, great movers, but something like this stays through the generations. It's not easy to improve. But this is not only example in our breeding. We have for the show. Sometimes we can recognize the style just from the body. But they are very strong, very good horses, very charismatic, I would say. But it's not really, that's our breeders' challenge.
I think it's very interesting to note, particularly in these last two mares, not a great dish of any sort, but truly Arab horses' heads, with this very wedge-shaped face, small muzzles, marvellous mid-back, beautiful clean nose throat. But I think it shows very strongly a number of these mares, and in particular these last two.
نسب ومع الدور. I think it's reasonably rare worldwide. My Popadito. That was an exchange breeding from when Malaya was in Holland. So we had a breeding Popadito from Robin and Harto, who had one from Malaya. Then the dark mare behind her is out of Rafifa. She's called Ryan Rafifa, and she's by Monaco City. And then her called Bayra by Sadir. There are some more on the list, but they will be shown after this improvement.
This strain, Amurgup, is the, I would say, strongest in the stud, and most of the show winners are from this Amurgup strain from the mare Nasab, who was the gift from Majali tribe shape. great to look at these horses because they are so modern, and instead of the values which they are bringing with their desert bred dam line, they are all what is necessary for a horse, for the modern show horse also. They have beautiful eyes, beautiful heads, they are great mover, and they have great attitude. You will see this. And there's so many of them that we have to divide it on 3 different groups. But still, it will be an asset of all good trade.
In England on a very cold -15 day in February. She was my first introduction to Jordan, the country I was yet to visit 2 years later. She arrived at the most extraordinary spirit. She, I have to say, hated humans. She had her own opinion of life and the most extraordinary beauty. A white mare in about 15'1" in height, with a black mane and a black tail and black tips to her ears. She came to England once more as a mare with poor fertility, but also to become an ambassador for Jordan and introduce some of the horses to the show ring in Britain and in Europe. She caused quite a stir in many ways, and it was difficult to get her spirit to conform to the style of an English lady showing. She preferred to tell me on every occasion possible that it was fine at home, but also impossible for her to cope with the stresses of the show ring, and would do anything to cause trouble for me as a handler. On many occasions she would be going beautifully as a trot and then stick her front leg out and trip me up. Give me a dent on the shin and run back to my stables. But I absolutely took her into my heart, and I think by the time she left, after maybe 3 years, we formed a great bond, and I think she will always hold a special place in my heart. And it's very sad that she only had the one colt who was born here. I met her. Yeah. Her very last foal by Maharaj, and her only foal, but some of his stock is still represented in the stud today.
She incidentally was known as the Queen of the Stud, and she knew it.
I remember Peter telling me that after she'd shown once or twice in England, he said people came up and said, it's the first time we realised that an Arab could really be a horse, because she was very much a horse. She wasn't just a... And he said, but they're not ponies, this is a real horse. She was really a very strong character, and as Fiona said, not only did she trip her up and refuse to cooperate in the ring. In fact, I remember one article Betty King wrote saying that, notable in whatever had been the Marsala, the Jordanian Marsala, who as usual refused to cooperate, but has enough quality to stay at the top anyway. I think she was second or third that year. But, also, very sorry we have to, there's been a complaint she's sweating from a dope tester. Well, yes, but we would be doping her down, not up. And then she would be forced to take a test from. She would just look really offended and intimidate whoever's trying to take a sample from her. She was a really wonderful character. And then she came back home and mellowed again, she could settle back into life again. And we always said that she was such a character. But she was the foundation or the catalyst for my friendship with Fiona and her wonderful family. So really, it's precious, the legacy that endures.
Royal Jordanian is It's my favorite map. I really love this map. It's just its quality, which may be the queen of every state and every country. It's a real quality. Look at her. She has a beauty, she has a beautiful face, she has strong legs and great attitude. She's really, really an Arabian man. Young colt Bayrak is just a yearling and very promising yearling. He was nowhere shown anywhere, no training. He had some health problem when he was young, but now he's becoming very promising young gentleman. That also shows the character, the attitude of the horses. They are easy to handle, and it's really hard to believe that he'd never been shown and never been trained.
No, sorry, it's Saudi. Saudi الصدر. رايحة في الدينة.
No, I will talk about him with pleasure. I like this horse very much. Is the son of the horse who is opening the presentation, Kapitina, out of Sadika. The mother will follow him soon. And this horse has everything which Arabian stallion should have, but for sure he's not free of some faults, which is visible. Bit too long, bit too weak in the body, but the rest, the attitude, the beauty, the head is almost feminine, great neck, great attitude, great movement, big neck, bit alert today. He was always very sweet, but now probably became a father. He's changing attitude also. It was necessary to try what he can do in breeding, and we have some. The stud has some nice foals, so he's promising as a sire and as an outcross for many studs, maybe really interesting horse. Maybe we would like to show his face, which is really gorgeous. And usually he's moving great, but now he's a bit naughty. Moving. Just asking.
Thank you, so this is going to behave. Really such a docile, very sweet brother. He's still sweet, but as you can see, become very feisty. Suddenly, in the last week. Here's his mother. And Hasanat Hanifa. Aynı Ramadan adını Hanifa, and then Hur, also Abadan Al-Qasidi Adil Hasanat Hanifa. So these two are half sisters of the two ridden horses who opened the show, the ones that you saw before that were doing endurance. Hasanat is 20. She's been a very good groomer. She had to go to the lobby also. And Howard has done very well now. So actually, Sagan also did London weather shows, but Howard was just performed very well in our in these challenges.
Sadiq, a heavy mother of Sadiq, which was good a minute before. She is winning mostly every head contest on the shows. She's a beautiful man, beautiful attitude, very good legs, very good movement, very good, representative of this line. One of the best. Extremely feminine, beautiful, and a good mother with problems, which has problems with having a son.
Very nice. It was good. Maybe even also some that's why I said everyone
Oh, wow.
for the whole day. We're going to take her inside. Trying to take care of the goats. Barcelona. Royal Jordanian
It's so nice comparing the Rafika, the last group of this string, and Safi, the mare we've just seen, because they are very alike, except she's more bay and not so brown as her sister. They are both with fantastic heads. I always think this one perhaps would be second to her sister in a class, but I think she's more girly. She's a real little girl, this mare. And as we could see from her son, a super brood mare.
Oh, nice. Thank you. How do you do that? Bluetooth or? You have to on the
Nothing to say, just look at.
That's the only
Cool.
or how does it work?
That's a perfect example how wonderful combination is the offsprings of Monarchos and Clay Ramadan. These two stallions are like the columns which are holding all the breeding this stuff. And very successfully. She was just recently reserve champion of the Middle East Championship and is always top in every show she was shown until now. I remember her as a yearling, she was very pretty, but there was the one which was prettier for me. But we will also see that later. Kouris represents everything which we may expect from Arabian mare, not only it's feminine, it's beautiful, it has a great attitude, great movement, but it's also great conformation. Very correct legs, strong body, good movement, which I hope she will show, but she's really hungry today. After lunch, she will probably show better.
I'm not going to do it, I don't think.
Oh, well, sorry. But she was the same.
more important things on her mind. Fair enough.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
That concludes the local, the 7 strains, the foundations of the stud. I'll now just show you some descendants of the Royal from France, because they've been an outstandingly good family for us. I hope you enjoy that. Really super much.
There are some carrots.
She was one of his earlier dogs, and so she was shortly after that. After Bonegola, who was bred by Sharon Against, from the Bahasa pianist, Marcus TV. And then another son, Johnny, also Marcus TV. And I have got a Gida, I'm Marcus TV. And then behind them, Amasa, also by Monaco's TV.
So that's a class, which one would you pick?
Jawahir is already 21 years old, and she's a proud mother of these four. And in front of us there is Hans, her son, horse which was proven as a race horse, and a riding horse. He was used in endurance, and now he's getting better and better. So we think that soon we'll be able to be shown. But there is one problem with that. If you look at the pedigree, there is no mares in the stud which can be useful for them. They are all monarchos and Clay Ramadan. So, but both of them are very interesting. Hence is bigger, stronger, but Janine is a bit smaller, but a lot of type. It's an Arabian stadium. Don't do it. He's 13 today, we don't want it.
Yeah, no, he's like, what can I do? Oh, he's alive.
Thanks. That's what we want from them. To be nice and to be charismatic and great movers. Jamil, his full brother. Perfect body, perfect legs, very nice head, everything which it's enough to be a sire. The only problem, very difficult to find wife for him and the stuff. Beautiful stallion. Here are some mares which are more pretty or less, but there are some which has class. Yes, and they seems to be special just if you look at them. That's one of them, Jida. Full of class, full of femininity. Not very refined in that, but the quality is unbelievable.
was actually one of the horses that when we had the fire at the start, and most of these were. They opened the gate and let them out of the paddock, which the car was coming down to it, and they all went up the drive and on the main road, round and round and panted all the way to the south. It didn't help their feet, obviously, but the mares who spent most of their time in the paddock, they did pretty well. They stayed together, they were sensible. Some of them lost quite a lot of condition after that, but we also had problems getting the right feed after the COVID thing. But we're very glad that they all came back safely and people rounded them up and brought them back. So people watching videos at the time and sending them, that's not so-and-so, is it? Yes, it is. She was at the head of the pen, just tracking along to the next town. Alhamdulillah, we're very lucky.
I would just like to say that I retired as a judge when I was 2 years ago as an international judge, and Princess Alia asked me to come and judge here. She said, after all, you judged at the very first Arab show held in Arabia, and I think it should be that your last show judging abroad should be also in one of the Arabian countries, in particular Jordan. So I came here and I was one of the 4 judges. When this mare came into the ring, you can see why I think, but all 4 of us judges gave her 5 20s each. That was this mare.
They all have food on their mind, so I don't want to. And I'm sure we'll possibly do 2, so after this group show you Hanay Ramadan and then we'll release you. Ramadan, but it was the same time, and there was another stud who belonged to another stud here with the same name, so he became Abdillah, but Canadian. He's a great character. He spent some time in Europe, he's been a wonderful side for us. He's a great sense of humour. Doesn't always cooperate, of course, in the vein of our horses. Behavior, but I thought you'd like to see him again. He's 26 now.
I really love to judge this horse. That was the only chance that you could stay in front of him and watch his eyes. The most beautiful eyes ever. There was also a reason that I asked Mrs. Alia for the breeding, and we bred previously Miniano Totaski, having great results. But these eyes are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I've just given some carrots because they're today.
I first saw this horse as a 2-day-old foal, and I think I was impressed so much by him now that I looked at children. He won a number of championships, ultimately becoming a world champion at Paris. His first championship, interestingly enough, 2 of the judges took a married trainer and me. Yeah, he's a great horse. He's done a one from Barak as well.
I think to say he's a great horse, great producer, great personality. As you can see, he's 26, but look at his what great shape he is. And eyes. Eyes I can look all day long.
The arena, we're just going to release some mares into the paddock, and then we invite you to stay and go across the night.
Thank you much.
Das ist eine Leitstute.
Awesome.